whining quite a bit.
What's going on, motherfucker? Shut the fuck up, Bishop. Welcome to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. Today is Sunday, May 3rd, 2019, and this is episode number 118. Tonight on the show, I have the very loud and interruptive cow of a fucking person named BishopGP and MiddleAgedStream. Jimmy, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Bishop, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. We have a third guest. You completely went over the head of our third guest, which is my squeaky chair. So we need to shut this bitch up at a certain point.
Welcome, squeaky chair.
Do we have any thoughts?
Dude, my chair is really, I actually had to contact support because it either needs to get fixed or it needs to, I might be able to, see if we can get this.
Do we need to get a... Oh, what the? That was dude, that thing is creaky. That's like mechanically not sound.
Yeah, so that's got to get fixed. But that's why you buy a chair with a lifetime warranty. Also, can we see that artisanal opposite of an abomination of a drink that you have there? Oh my God, Casey. Jesus Christ.
It's got like the salted glass and the lime. Holy smokes. I've got a beer koozie on my beer, and I've got ice cubes in my whiskey glass.
Oh, Jimmy's ready to go. I actually thought about doing some whiskey, but I've found that if I do whiskey and beer on a podcast night, waking up the next morning is so fucking hard.
I'm kind of cheating. Because this is Dos Equis. So, I mean, it's almost like drinking water.
That's fair.
I mean? Like, the alcohol content
of Dos Equis like that.
No, I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying the alcohol content is low compared to a lot of the other beers that I drink. That's all.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
So it's like compared to a lot of the craft beer that I drink that has a much higher alcohol content, Dos Equis is like a lightweight beer, you know?
Yeah, 100% it is. Yeah.
So when you pair it with a little whiskey, it's having like a little, like during our podcast, usually I will drink maybe 2 beers and 1 or 2 whiskeys. That's typical for me. So that's really in a 2-hour to 2.5-hour podcast. That's 4 drinks so a drink every half an hour.
Is that a lot?
I don't think so.
It's 2 drinks an hour.
Okay, so you can't drive, but you can party.
So like in 2 hours time, I've usually had 4 drinks.
Okay.
He's having Dos Equis tonight. That's his plan.
But see, I was trying to mess with everybody because like I'm saying 4, but I'm like I'm holding up 2.
I was waiting to see if you were gonna hold up the wrong a number of fingers. I just realized
2 tonight.
Yeah.
My camera's all fucked up. Hey, you guys fill the air for a second while I fix my camera, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, we were just
fly in the sky. Ooh. I can fly twice as high. So take a look. It's in a book. A reading rainbow.
That was actually really good.
You know,
that?
I feel like an asshole because I used to shit on the Sub 2R or whatever. Not that Sub 2R. So it's the Go XLR. And
I was about to say
that thing is a dude. Listen, the amount of content that Jimmy's getting out of this the what do you call the audio or auto tune? Amazing.
Oh yeah, I love that. Is easily the auto tune is probably my favorite, and then my second favorite is like the crackly loudspeaker one.
Oh no,
the crackly loudspeaker sort of one like this because it has a lot of uses as well.
So
I'm a fan. Yeah, it's definitely it's been very, very interesting because my opinion of the Go XLR. My opinion of Bishop has degraded over time.
Slowly but surely, one podcast at a time.
What are we doing now, Bishop? What are we doing, huh?
We're like the angel and the demon on Naaackers' shoulder.
What are we doing here?
Oh, yeah.
What are we doing?
You want to do a little bit of this for a little while?
Yeah, I think we should.
All right.
I think we should.
Jimmy, what's your new name?
what do you mean?
What's your deep voice name?
I don't have a name for that one.
Jesus fucking Christ! Bishop, what's the name of your other dude?
Stephanie.
Hey, let me hear it again, please. Oh, there's a crack. You hear that? Ooh. You hear the chair cracking? Oh, I hear it, baby.
Hey guys, this is Stephanie. How's it going? I'm here calling into the podcast to figure out, really, how did you guys just get so goddamn beautiful? Like, as men, clearly you guys have some sort of secret. What is it? Naaackers, you can go first.
3 words. Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
What about you,
I just
Jimmy?
like to do a lot of manly things all day. I do manly things like I lift up heavy objects and I drink copious amounts of alcohol. I
Right.
yell at children passing by in the streets. Kick random dogs going by my home only if they shit in my yard. Only if they shit in my yard, it happens. And that's really how I got to be me.
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty sure everyone hates this right now.
It's probably a little difficult to listen to, but at the same time, if you enunciate, if you just enunciate just a little bit.
Just got a little bit, just a little bit.
Anyways,
No,
I don't
it's-
remember what
yeah.
the fuck. Oh, what? Yeah, so like, what is an extremely like abusive, overweight, alcoholic person's name that starts with a J? That
With a
could be-
J?
Yeah, just like your real name, but your alter ego.
Jeff.
No, Jeff. I mean, Jeff's a nice guy.
How about a junior? I've known juniors that are pretty overweight and that are also. I'm not hating on all juniors out there. I'm just saying I happen to have known. There's some good ones. A Jared, that's a good one.
Well, here's the thing. Juniors usually have a senior, and they are usually an apple that has not fallen too far from the tree. I almost fucked that up. We were talking about this before the show went live, just about like the format of the podcast. And can I just say that the last 3 episodes of the podcast have just been such a joy. I've had such a great time doing them. I think we have found a perfect medium between value, comedy, and time restrictions and Q&A, and just all of it together has just been such a pleasing experience for me. And I just love you both so very much. I love having you on the podcast. I love doing the podcast. I think the conversations that we have are fantastic, and I think the last 3 episodes have just
all right,
been
let's move on. Let's just move on to the next
So what you're
subject.
saying is we've peaked? Like we've peaked. This is the last episode of Crocs.
This
Hot
is it,
Pockets.
yeah.
Is that what is that your way of telling us that's it?
I was kind of hoping that we could make it to 119 so that I had an episode to fire you both, and then I
Okay.
could close it out.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was actually streamed. I thought this was just us talking at night.
Just chilling.
Once a
Yeah.
couple-
Yeah,
just
no,
chilling.
this is totally recorded ahead
Wait,
of
are
time.
you making how much money are you making off this thing? Are you making millions yet? Because all streamers are millionaires. I don't know
Right.
if you knew
All
that.
of them. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I'm a millionaire.
Every last one.
It's actually kind of crazy. The whole conversation between trying to get large on Twitch, trying to make a career out of streaming. When you look at how many subs it actually takes to make a living wage on Twitch, it's a lot. Like, we all think 1,000 subs is a lot. It's really not that much.
No.
At
Not
all.
even close.
But when I was just a wee lad thinking about having 1,000 subs, I'm like, that's God tier. Are you kidding? But then you actually do the math, and then you learn about the tax side of it, and then you learn what you actually have to do to get to that point to make that income that's barely manageable. That's some next level shit right there. It's crazy. What are we drinking tonight? Bishop, I want to know what's in your glass first.
Naaackers, I hate to tell you, I actually have no clue.
Jesus Christ. Casey! what does it taste like?
A Jolly Rancher with salt on the.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I was just taking a nap because we had to get up really early to do a production thing. And,
Dude, you better not let that woman out of your sight.
Man, this thing. I don't even. It doesn't even
Golly.
taste like it. Just
Look at
tastes like
this.
a soda patch,
I'm just
dude.
listening to your conversation right now. I was waking up from a nap. Oh, it's some cocktail. I don't know what it is. I mean, she just made it for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Come on.
I've got it.
Living the
pretty
good
nice.
life. Living the good life, man. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's
We
good.
can't let her know though. She can't.
You're
find
right.
out.
Right.
Nobody said anything.
You can never
No-
tell the Whammons
No
how
one tell
good they
Casey.
are.
No one tell
Yeah,
Casey.
We can't expose ourselves to the Whammon. If the Whammon figure it out, they don't need us, guys. All right?
Mhm.
They don't need us at all. They're self-sufficient. I really don't know.
We are not.
It is true. Like my wife doesn't need me really for much of anything. So
2 words: breast milk.
she
Breast
definitely doesn't need me
milk.
for that.
That's what I'm saying. They can breastfeed themselves if they wanted.
Are they self-sufficient? Like if they drink their own breast milk, do they consistently stay up?
Yeah, it's like if you drink your own urine, you're self-sufficient.
But don't you have to
Really?
always be pumping out
Yeah, you
kids
just
in
have
order to?
You just have to keep drinking your own urine, Bishop.
All right.
I knew of somebody at church that used to do that, and she like
Oh, dude.
advertised that she did it.
Did you ever see that Bear Grylls episode where he drinks his own urine?
Bear Grill? What?
Bear Grylls, Man versus Wild.
Listen,
No.
I'm just waiting
Oh
for
my
a Bear
god, it
Grylls
was
episode.
awesome.
I'm just waiting for him to go out into the wild with like Shaquille O'Neal, and he's like, "Drop your pants, dog. I need your piss." I'm just waiting for the episode where he drinks another celebrity's piss.
That
And
is
then
one
it'll
of the
all be
greatest
over.
television shows of all time, and the fact that you don't know who Bear Grylls is disappoints me slightly, Naaackers. I'm a little disappointed.
If it's
He's a
on
boomer.
TV
He's a boomer.
and it's not
Yeah, okay,
highlighted
boomer.
and put to YouTube, there's no way I'm seeing it.
He has a huge YouTube presence.
Okay,
I'm sure there's tons of clips from Bear Grylls, Man versus Wild on there.
how huge? How
Half man,
huge?
half bear,
Half
girl.
men, half bear, all grills,
See,
all girls,
all the time.
So this
BearGrylls.com.
sounded like a cooking show to me at first.
No.
It's a bear the
It's-
grilled shit. Yeah,
He is a former special forces, British special forces guy. He got hurt on a training exercise, I think. Like he broke his back jumping out of a plane, barely survived, and then he started these survival TV shows where like he does all this stuff in the middle of nowhere. It's called like Man versus Wild, and he does it like in these different places all over the world. There's even one that's like a choose your own adventure style one on Netflix where you can pick what he does next. It's awesome, man.
Didn't Man vs. Wild get exposed for being completely fucking fake?
Oh, I'm sure they simulate a ton of that shit, but there's a lot of that stuff that's not faked that he does.
It's
You
either
can't
it's fake
fake
or
it.
it's not. It's like, oh, I'm half surviving
Dude,
on my own.
Okay, look, it's a TV show, but some of the things that they videotape him doing are 100% not fake. You can't fake them. So it might be fake overall, but the show itself, brilliant show. Love it.
I was looking at I can't remember who it was, but there was 2 big survival guys. Bear Grylls was one of them, and there was another guy. But I always, whenever I watched the shows, I was like, yeah, these guys are badasses. But imagine being the guy carrying the camera equipment, you know?
Oh
'Cause,
my
like
god.
he's jumping through this shit, but the camera guys have to follow him, right? So unless
Right.
it's like there's like like a red carpet, on the other side of the cliff where it's just easy to go around. Yeah, I'm like, damn, the actual badass is the guy carrying like the 80-pound PAL camera. It's like, oh, okay.
We've
That's a
been
bad
watching live PD compilations in our downtime on YouTube.
Oh, I love
Dude,
live PD.
the cameramen in those shows are gods. Like, of course, like most cops can't sprint, so
Yeah.
the cameramen don't have a real struggle trying to keep up with them. But holy shit, like the cameramen, and here's the greatest thing. The policemen are there to do their job. Some policemen can be funny, but most of them are like 100% doing the job, serious, no laughing matter. What the cameraman is able to transcend from reality to RTV and to put their little like comedy spins on it, like the close-ups on faces, like the panning that they'll do between like cop, and it's absolutely hilarious. And obviously it's weird when criminals are mic'd up, but still a good watch. Like I said, there's
Well,
no.
they're not. I mean, they're not really mic'd up. They just have microphones around.
No, there's definitely times where like there's a person sprinting through a parking lot and they're like 40 feet away. You can hear the mic like rustling around. There's some of them out, not all.
Live
of them.
PD is pretty awesome. Live PD is pretty awesome.
It's a good time.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just
yeah.
do like the highlights of stuff. The people, it's hilarious how many people try and deny Even they're like sitting in their car with crack rocks in their lap, and there's I don't know how
that's not mine.
I don't know how they got there. Yeah, I'm waiting for my friend Therese from right over here. Like, you're in a McDonald's parking lot. It's 3:00 in the morning. Who are you waiting for? They're like, all right, let's go through your most recent text messages. Hey, honey, you want to get a little blown tonight? I don't know who that is. She texted me. I don't know.
Yo, dude, that's one of those what I like to call like a guilty pleasure show.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like one of those shows where I can just sit and watch it for an hour or two and just totally lose track of time. It's just a really fun show to watch. So
yeah, there was my favorite episode of that show. I don't know if it was live PD or cops, but this dude was in his passenger seat. He was in a passenger seat in like a rated parking lot, and the car was completely totaled, and he's just got his arm out the window in the passenger seat, completely blacked out. He's like, oh no, I'm just waiting for my buddy coming. He's coming out. And the car is just like on the other side is just completely destroyed. And the cop's like, are you sure you weren't driving this thing? He's like, no, my buddy just ran into the store really quickly. And the car is like pieces falling off of it. And there's like liquid leaking out of it. Probably like one of the greatest clips of all time.
Love that shit. Love it. Jimmy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking some, I'm almost out. I've got some Johnny Walker Double Black on the rocks. It's almost empty. I'm going to have to refill that. But then I've got quite a bit of this Dos Equis in a bottle. I don't have the fancy lime and
salt, that kosher,
salt, like
coarse salt.
Like some guy does. I noticed that you didn't wear a hat today because I figured you didn't want us to mess with you. You didn't wear that little beanie. You had enough abuse the last time we did a podcast, so you didn't wear it. Is that what happened?
No, the truth is that I got a haircut. Casey cut my hair. We pulled out a few sets of clippers, and she did the sides.
I was gonna say because the top still looks long.
She did good. Did good.
It looks nice.
You've got like a Mr.
Don't
Robot
let her know.
going on.
Don't let her know. Don't let her know.
Yeah, don't tell her. She's got to work on it. It's something she's got to improve on. She's got to get better.
Let her know.
We were talking about it, and I was like, man, we could get some like nice clippers and this and that, whatever we need. And then I was thinking about it. I was like, as soon as this shit's over, I'm probably just going to go back to the barber. So I don't want to give you like another thing to take care of. So, yeah.
The list is long. I don't want to add to it.
I mean, you've got 6 o'clock cocktails that have to be made. We have the nap session. I need to make sure the room is ready for me to take my nap in. Yeah, man. I mean, you've got your 2 o'clock cookies. I mean, there's a lot of things that are done for Bishop at home. So
yeah, I'm not going to comment at all because I know how true this is. This statement is very true.
Hey, we all, it's seething out of your face. We all know. MiddleAgedStream, how far did you get into Mr. Robot without giving away any details?
Oh, of course. I finished it. Mr. Robot?
Did we talk? We did talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, are you on drugs or what?
I think I might be because there was somebody else who. Oh, it was Conbot. I think it was Conbot that was the one that was starting Mr. Robot.
Nobody cares about Conbot. Don't worry about him.
Dude, I was watching him getting real sweaty on his drum stream today.
Yo, I missed that. I wanted to see that and I got sidetracked with other stuff.
Did you choose your family over a random person on the internet, Jimmy? God damn it.
You're a son of a bitch, dude.
No, actually, I chose other random people on the internet.
Oh, no!
Ooh,
Zinger!
Who edits the show? Who edits
Combot's
the show?
Gonna be like, wow. Wow.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Get that ass sucked. That is a prime.
Wow.
Prime.
Take that, editor of the podcast, who will likely find something out of context for me at some point in the future.
Oh, that's true. And he also gets all of the pre-show recordings. So careful.
Oh man, yeah.
Those might be dangerous. I've always thought about like, hey, that would actually kind of be cool, but I enjoy the ensemble before the show. And I don't really want that documented anyways.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
Well, shit. It's been 2 weeks since we've all gotten together and had a podcast. What has been going on as far as like video games? What games have you been playing? What do you get into? Jimmy, I'm gonna let you go first. Oh wait, forgot about the beer. This is a brand new one. Here she goes. Here she goes. Here she goes. Session Sour. Sandbar Sour Series with lime and pink salt. Oh, it's Salt Night, dude. Awesome.
Dude, you're so salty, dude.
This
You're
is
so salty.
fantastic. It's sour.
Sounds like something I'd like.
It's citrusy. It almost smells like a Capri Sun, or it's like a Capri Sun and a summer shandy kind of mixed together. It looked like the guy from Spaceballs.
They're learning from our upbringing. They're like, you know what? These guys really like Capri Sun. Let's just get an orange straw, put it in a blue container that has chrome shit on it, and we'll be good. And that's what you have. Actually, you know what? If there's a beer with like a pop top that you could stick a little like orange straw into, I'd try it.
I've tried putting straws in beers. It never ends well. I don't know if anybody remembers that clip from years and years ago. I actually just
was like
came
your
across
anniversary
it.
stream a few years back.
Yeah, that was my 5-year anniversary, and we're gonna be coming up. So my Twitch affiliate anniversary, which most likely the same day as yours, MiddleAgedStream, is coming up on the 28th of this month.
Yeah,
is my 3-year, and then my 7-year streaming anniversary is going to be in July.
Wow.
Yikes, man. Yikes. You're
Big
getting
yikes.
old, man.
Big yikes, but also
Big
Pog,
yikes.
dude. Pog yikes,
Dude, yeah,
brother.
Big
Pogs.
yikes, big pog.
Yikes, dude.
Big pog yikes.
You know what's going to happen? Do you know how many gravestones 70 years from now we're just going to say like Papega, Pog, like big fat Pogger dude from like 1990 to 2080 or some shit.
1990 to 2079. Big Michael Bennett Scott, big poggers.
20 death in 2069. Poggers. I did it, boys.
Or just like a kappa, like, oh shit, is this guy really dead? Oh my, nobody knows.
20 and death, it like puts like 2 days for the death and then like a kappa at the end. You're like, which one?
Or it's like a gravestone with 2 names on it. It says Kappa Pride on the bottom. That would be epic.
Oh my, yeah. Or like name and then username, like was known by his family as Nick, but known as his community as get that ass sucked, Nack Daddy, or some shit like that. Really quick before Jimmy gets to video games, I saw a video today for a game that I believe is by the same company that made My Name is Pedro. And it's a game that's in development called Last Man Sitting. And it's basically My Friend Pedro 3D, and you're in a chair and you're fucking scooting around and shooting and somersaulting and jumping from office chair to office chair. The tweet said something like, Last Man Sitting, maybe sometime coming out in sometime 2035. I don't know, maybe. But just that little clip of footage that I saw on Twitter today, I'm like, that game looks freaking awesome. It also reminded me that I needed to go and play My Friend Pedro again. But Jimmy, video games.
I have been playing. I beat Mass Effect 2 since the last time I was on here. I beat that. And then I started playing. I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing off stream. And then I started playing Cuphead on expert mode. The last couple of streams.
Oh,
and let me just say,
I'm sorry, man.
It is intense.
yeah.
It is super intense.
Camping usually is.
And I've made it already through the first third of the game on expert. The first like 5. I've actually made it through the first 6 bosses on expert.
Wow.
Wow.
So I'm
actually
I'm
impressed.
improving.
Poggers, dude.
And that's in like 3 streams. So 3 streams of it, and not like full streams, long streams. Some of them were, but so really more like 2.5 streams. But yeah, I've been playing that. I'm thinking I'm gonna want to play Final Fantasy VII Remake at some point.
Okay. Is it the full game or is it a piece of the game that's out right now?
It's like episodic, but it's like episodic. That's like a 30-hour episode.
Oh,
I personally found it pretty embryonic, Jimmy.
Embryonic? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Naaackers, how do you feel the game was?
He hasn't played it, you
Probionic.
buffoon. He hasn't played it, you buffoon.
Yeah, I just made up a word. I just said something that sounded fancy, like
It's
embryonic.
macrobiotic.
I'll eat your fucking embryos.
I actually started playing Cuphead because I'd already been thinking about playing it, but then another streamer, I'm Space Shark, she just started playing it, and is playing for her first time on normal. Like I've already played it and beaten it on normal. So I was like, okay, I'm looking for a challenge. They're going to be dropping DLC later this year for that game, which I'm really looking forward to. So I don't know. I was looking for a challenge and I loved that game. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to start playing Cuphead again. So
Downloadable Concussions. That fucking game, man. No, thank you.
It's a lot of fun. But that's pretty much it for me. Oh, and XCOM 2. Some off stream, I've also been playing Age of Empires 3, which has been fun. I've been playing that with a friend, an old buddy like who I've known since high school. And then I have been... I also we're going to try XCOM 2 multiplayer. I haven't done that yet. He says it's a lot of fun, but I haven't played it. So we'll do that. And then also I got Borderlands 3 to play off stream. And I'll be playing that. And I got to do I'm having some issues, I think, with that game. And in 4K, I think I might have to drop the resolution down. But
that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me video game wise, man. It's been that pretty fun week of video games. Last couple of weeks of video games. I've had fun playing. I've streamed at least 3 days a week the last couple of weeks. Another little bit of news about me. I'll share it now because it's kind of on one of the things I wanted to talk about later. But I did just get I just joined a new stream team. It's called the Nook. Yeah.
Ooh.
Ironically,
like the cozy little corner of Twitch that ironically also has to do with Animal Crossing. You know, right now, riding the coattails of Animal Crossing. But no, it's really cool, man. And just the short version is I applied to be on the stream team like 2 months ago, and I didn't think that I made it in because they started announcing members about a month ago, like the new members that they were putting in. And I hadn't heard anything back about the application or anything at all. So I was kind of like, I guess I just didn't get it on the team. No big deal, you know. I mean, it's like, no, but I put myself out there plenty of times in the past and didn't get it, you know. But then last night when I was streaming, the founder of the stream team, it's Twiggy, and a bunch of the people who were on the team came over and raided with her channel while I was streaming last night, and said like welcome to the Nook, and it kind of threw me, man, because I was totally 100% not expecting that at all.
That's an awesome way to do an exception for a stream team, by the way. So props to them.
Yeah, no, I thought it was so cool. Like I really was taken aback. I was talking to my wife about it, and she was telling me how cool she thought it was, and it was a special moment. Like I've been streaming on Twitch a long time, not as long as you Naaackers, but still a very long time. And I will have to say, as long as I've been streaming on Twitch, that moment that happened last night has got to be in like one of my top 10 stream moments.
Awesome.
You know, and I've been streaming a long time, and I've had a lot of great moments, and that was one of them. It was just a really cool feeling, you know. So
I'm happy for you, man.
No, thank you. It's there's a reason why, and I'll get to it later. I wanted to bring up a topic for discussion, but I haven't been on a stream team in a while for a reason. You know, I haven't been like a dedicated stream team, not like just one where you have like the title. You know what I mean? That you're part of another like-minded community. But I haven't had a chance to meet everyone on the team yet. But literally every single person I've gone to, every single stream, they've been good. They've been real good, and it's been kind of comforting to know that like there's still all this great content out there on Twitch that I still don't even know about. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And it's cool because there's so much good content out there now, and it's neat to be able to meet new people this way and kind of share, you know, similarities and a like-minded goal. So it's cool.
Is your wife worried that this is going to encroach on your guys' Animal Crossing cartel operation?
No, she's not worried. She's actually probably playing Animal Crossing as we talk here right now.
We have to overlook the butterfly empire, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Your workers can't, you know, go and build their own houses unless you get a cut first.
Yeah.
if you get
But
my
no.
swing of things.
This Animal
That's
Crossing
right, that's
lingo
right.
that I'm not privy
That's
to.
Yeah, I've been watching too much Ozark, so I'm too ingrained in the cartel business. That's I'll watch Narcos afterwards for something more realistic. But yeah, I actually know I never like I always like saw people get involved in stream teams and stuff like that. I never really saw any reason for myself to do it, but I know for a fact that like after a certain amount of time that I streamed, and I didn't like choose this, but it just ended up happening. You just end up like eventually like falling into a place where it's like, okay, hey, this is your community now. These are all the people that are surrounding you, and like that's just, eventually like it's hard for you to like branch out and move into just time requirement wise. It's hard for you to like find new people to to meet. So that's cool.
Well, let's just jump into the discussion about it, because I think this is a very, very important conversation. And the good part about it is there is no wrong answer. There's right answers from both sides of it. We have people that have been on successful stream teams. We have people that have been on not so successful stream teams. The perspectives and the expectations that come from those different experiences, I think, are all very valuable to talk about. So I'm going to guess that the tweet that I responded to today was in relation to Jimmy actually joining a stream team. So I came across a tweet today from the Naaackers, and it was like, hey, I've been seeing a lot of people joining stream teams lately, and I just want to know, like, is it good? Is it bad? Is it beneficial? And me being somebody who has had an anecdotal negative experience with a stream team and also been in contact with a lot of people who have done the same, I gave my opinion, and obviously I think my opinion differs from Jimmy's. I think we have a lot of similar points, but our overall kind of perspectives might be different.
What's your opinion? What's your opinion?
So my opinion is that stream teams are follow for follow with a different name. And not necessarily that it is a bad thing all around. It depends on the requirements or responsibilities of the team and your expectations. Your experience within a stream team is going to be completely different from somebody else's, depending on what you're looking to get out of it. So there's a couple different stream teams that are out there, and they all do different things. I will go back to my experience in a stream team. So I got accepted back in 2017. It was it was a stream team that pretty much advertised that they were focused on building an environment for people to grow together. They had all of these things that, you should do, as in like, hey,
can we say the name of the team? Is it still around?
I don't think it's around anymore. Because here's the thing:
if they're not around anymore, I think you could say it. I think you could say it if they're disbanded. I think the statute of limitations is over.
It might not be, and
Cloud9.
I don't know.
Holy shit, you were on Cloud9?
You were on Cloud9? Holy shit!
I was bench squad. They never really like said my name or announced it or anything. I don't really want to say the name, because even though I'm friends with the person who ran the team, and there was a lot of great things that came out of it for those people. And I don't want to seem like I'm trashing him or trashing the team. But these were my experiences. So I got onto the team. One of the things were, hey, follow everybody on the team, add everybody to your auto host list. And, they had like little requirements, nothing that was too overbearing, but little requirements like, hey, if you're going to join this team, let's boost each other up a little bit and do a couple things. And I didn't really see it as a big deal at the time. So as you go along with a team, you start to notice that, okay, they want you to host people that are on your team first, or at least consider the people that are on your team first, to try and keep the love within the stream team. Totally fine. What I began to realize is that this is how fucking granular I got with it. I made a spreadsheet of all 110 plus members. I documented how many of them had ever been to my channel at all, how many of them followed my channel when I joined the stream team, and there was one other analytic, and I can't remember the exact percentage, but I want to say at least 70 to 80% of the people on the stream team had never visited my channel once. And I'm somebody that has a bot running on my stream PC at all times, and it tracks that. And then I want to say 90% of them never followed the channel once I joined. And that's like one of the requirements of when you join the team. And what I started to notice after a while too was none of the non-partners cared about any of the non-partners. All of the non-partners would just flock, brown nose, and ass suck all of the people that were larger than them. And there were so much. Now, when I talk about nowadays how I don't really come in contact with people that are fake or people that feel like they're just out to get theirs, I really don't come in contact with people like that. When I was on that stream team, that's all it fucking was just a bunch of like number hungry people just looking out to get theirs and not caring about anything else. And I sent that spreadsheet to the owner and I said, hey, by the way, I'm leaving the team. Here's why. Here's all of the values and the mission statement of your team. Here's how it's being upheld within your community. And here are all the issues. Like they had mods that were just absolutely terrible. They were just, some people just can't manage other people. Some people are just so bad at being managers. And I just sent them a huge document. I said, look, what you're advertising and what you're portraying is the complete opposite of what is actually going on. So on the other side of it, and I don't know if I want to give my counterpoint to my own point before I give you a chance to say your piece, Jimmy.
Let's hear what Jimmy says, because I'm kind of in the middle of like I've been invited to a bunch of stream teams, but I have my own opinion that it's similar to yours. So instead of just jerking you off, let's let Jimmy start jerking himself off.
Okay. I'll start jerking myself off.
Then we can figure that out.
Nice, dude.
Perfect. So what you just described, what I just heard, described to me what stream teams were like in like, first of all, what a lot of stream teams are still like, but you kind of described what the stream team I had been on, at least toward the end of it, before.
Real quick, and you just touched on it, but I want to specify when I say most stream teams, not all. I'm not talking about all stream teams. Most,
not all stream teams. No, most stream teams, and the one that I was on before was a stream team called Crash Fam, and I got started on that stream after about a year or so after I started streaming, and I was on that team for about a year before it was disbanded. And it originally was great, and it was small enough to be great, but then when it started getting really, really big, it changed a lot. And it changed. This was also before the affiliate program on Twitch. So the
back in my day.
The thing is, before the affiliate program, like you said, it was a real problem where if you had partners on the team, the people who were, because there was no affiliateship program, a lot of people just flocked to them.
Yep.
And it turned into, it wasn't really very team-like. So fast forward to today, 2020, a couple months ago, I had gone, I guess the attention, it was a thought that had gone in my eye again, because I do remember, even though there were some bad things early on before the team was too big, there were a lot of great things, and I met a lot of other great streamers and people, and it was a great way to meet and merge communities with like-minded streamers. So fast forward a few months ago, I was doing some research. I heard about this other stream team that a few people I knew were on, and I started checking it out and then followed it. And there wasn't a lot of streamers, though. I mean, there was only like, I don't know, like a dozen or so. I mean, like two, I mean, not a lot. I mean, it's a very small stream team, you know? And so a couple months ago, they put out a message about wanting to look for other people. They still want to keep it small, you know? And I had already seen a bunch of the streamers in that community and thought to myself, if I was going to be on a stream team, I'd be okay with it being a small stream team with a bunch of different types of streamers. Similar, I mean, a lot of variety streamers on the stream team. And there is a lot of difference between them. But almost to a T. I haven't seen every single streamer now because they've expanded a lot, but they've all been great. And so I guess the point I'm trying to make, I'm kind of talking in a big circle, is that I think when it's done right, and if you have the right leadership with a stream team, it can be a very valuable thing. And I would not have even have applied if I didn't think that it would have been worth my time to join. And it's only been confirmed by how they welcomed me onto the team and the interactions that I had today with a bunch of people, because I was kind of going around, like last night after the stream, like I was up in the team Discord just reading a bunch of the introductions, trying to figure out who all was on the team, all the ones I didn't know, and all the other new people, you know? So I think it can be valuable. It can be a great way as a streamer to expand your viewership. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I need to use a stream team to use those people. I'm like, I don't see it like I'm using those people, but you're, to a degree, I see what you're saying with the whole follow for follow thing, you know, because like you're on a team together. So yes, if one of your teammates is streaming, there's going to be times you're going to be looking to host them or whatever, or raid them, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, this team is great. There's no expectations that you have to raid or host someone. Like there's no requirement that anyone has to do. And the way it's done and the type of communication that's with this group of people, I think it's really, really strong. And it reminds me kind of what things were like in the early days of my early experiences with Twitch teams or teams on Twitch. So stream teams, in my opinion, it depends on how big it is, and it depends on the leadership. Mm-hmm. I honestly think you're going to be... I think 50 is like the maximum size of a stream team before things just start getting... You know, if you're talking about a dedicated stream team, because the realization is you get to 50 people. Even if you watch one new streamer a day for 50 days, that's over a month.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you got to think of it like that. And I'm not. I think that this was a good choice by me, and I do feel very confident about the people that are on this team, because they're streamers that I enjoy as well. But I do also understand that you really should be careful about, like, because if I had been rejected, like I wouldn't be running out to look to try and join another team right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You found good people.
This was just like something that I came across and was like, man, I could see myself being on a stream team again with this particular group of streamers that I already knew I liked. Yep. So my advice to those people or streamers out there, if you're listening to this for advice, and not just
why is that funny?
It's funny for me. If
okay,
you're listening to me,
we're a very
people
serious
listen to you
podcast.
For advice all the time. No, if you're actually listening to me for advice,
experienced streamers, Jimmy, we know how to make it on Twitch.
My recommendation would be this: if you want to join a stream team, I would first of all suggest that you don't even bother doing that unless you've been streaming for a year. Mm-hmm. I would say that would be, wait till you've been streaming for a year before you join a stream team, because it's going to take you that long to figure out who you are as a streamer, at least, you know, and you may not be done at that point. I'm just saying a year minimum before I would join a stream team. And then if you decide you're going to join one, make sure that you don't have any weird expectations on you, and make sure you take the time to research who's on the team, at least not everyone, you know, but you need to know who the leadership is probably, and you need to know, would you see yourself? Because if you look at other people on the stream team and you're like, man, what is this? Well, maybe that's not the team for you, you know?
Right. Yep.
If you see content that you really don't like, why would you want to be on a team just for numbers? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that's the problem, is that some people will do it. They don't give a shit about the first part.
No.
They don't give a shit. They just want to be, they look and see, oh, well, this person's on this stream team. I want to try and join them so I can maybe get hosted by them and get my numbers up. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's why people...
And those can be subconscious.
That's why a lot of people join.
Yeah. So I should have prefaced this with this tweet conversation just to like lay out the context, but I'll do it now. So Naaackers' original tweet was, honest question, I see people joining orgs and stream teams and such. If you have been a part of one, did you like it? Did you find it beneficial? La 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 la. So my original point was, it's cool to be a part of something, but in my experience, the title is about all it's worth. You get back what you put in, you'll meet some really cool people, but streaming is not a team effort. Non-partners generally stick to partners in hopes of reciprocation, and it's just meh. In a way, teams is follow for follow with a different title. If you find some people that you vibe with, join them, but stay away from teams that are promising collaboration with exposure and support. Sooner or later, it will disperse, and you'll be left with what you started with, zilch. And then he said, I feel like starting a group with friends to represent you all, but I feel like starting a group with friends to represent the community you all have already built would be the better mindset if you were going to be a part of a team. So far, the biggest benefit I can tell is meeting new people and making new connections. And then my last reply was, in my opinion, there's nothing you can do as a team that you can't. There's nothing you can't do without a team. You can do the same shit without a team, is basically what I'm trying to say. You can still have the same group of friends no matter what team they're on. But if they're advertising and making requirements, steer clear. And then one final point, one of my buddies, Sodomi, replied and said, personal experience, if the org is actually doing something, charity streams, podcasts, Discord, shows, larger audiences, it can be beneficial. Similar to fraternities and sororities, you got to find one that works for you if it even exists. So a lot of really good parts in there. And one of the things is, again, if you just go in with the expectation of hey, I found a group of people that I really enjoy as people and as streamers. Why not just join up with them? My mantra of streaming is find the others. The whole purpose is to find the other people that you vibe with. And I actually just recently, She Snaps invited me to their stream team, the Pizza Party, and it's a massive stream team, and I joined it with absolutely no expectations. But my first thought is when she joined, because I was originally part of the Tapman Army, which is just an absolutely massive streaming community for Tim the Tapman.
Well, I should say too, I'm on 2 other stream teams, but I don't consider them as stream teams because they're just basically groups of people that are identified under, I have Moms and Dads of Twitch is one I've been on for years with a partner streamer, Sam, I've known forever. And then I'm on the Back Alley, Late Night Retro's stream team of a bunch of friends of the community. But it's not like a dedicated stream team. And I think that's part of the confusion of stream teams, too, is because you have all different types of stream teams. You have some that just identify you as being part of a group of people,
right? A title,
and you have others that are dedicated to trying to, host each other, build each other up in exposure and clout, as the kids like to say, clout.
Yep.
Trying to climbing the clout mountain. That's what you say, right, Bishop? You waking up each day trying to climb Clout Mountain.
Yeah,
Clout Town, baby.
90s, boy.
Clout Town.
Let's get some freaking kills.
Is that what all the Gen Z say? The Zoomers? Is that what all you Zoomers say?
We just listen. We wake up, we pop a little sody pap, we get on our Fortnite, we crank out some 90s, and then we
sody
dance.
pap.
We fucking crank 90s, you fucking
We crank
cunts.
90s, bro. If you're not even cranking 90s,
Clout Mountain, baby.
Come to Cranktown to crank some 90s there, bud.
So I think to go just to kind of summarize what you guys are saying, because I've been someone, just like I said, that has avoided stream teams like the plague in my life. Like I've been invited to a lot of them. I'll get like DMs that are like these super serious, like, hey, we looked over your content and we really think that you'd be great for our team. We'd like to bring you in. And, that there's been some really professional people that have approached me to do stream team stuff. And this was back
a little bit of a humble brag that is turning into, but keep going.
But like I've also been invited to hey, we're a bunch of Fortnite Zoomers and we want to help boost each other's economy. So the best way to look at these stream teams, because they're nothing. It's just it's another category to look on Twitch. Ultimately, they're nothing. It's just a way to funnel the way you find streamers. It's like another category per se. It's a customized category,
right? Because what happens when you click on that category? The people with the highest viewers are at the top of the list.
Yeah, it's ultimately just like a tag. But beyond that, obviously, there's a community element behind that. but comparable, like this is all comparable to like Facebook groups, right? What is the motivation? What's the message of the group? That's what's most important, right? If I'm joining a group that's all about, streamers that are, want to learn how to up their production quality, I'd love to join that. But if the group
streamers that want to learn how to pick out a good hat to wear on a podcast,
exactly, hats on podcasts.
That'd be a group you should join.
Yeah,
we could change
and learn what would be an appropriate type of hat to wear. To
Crocs and hat pockets. It's still like hot, but it's hat. Motherfucker!
Dude, that's a podcast if you get what I mean.
Yeah, dude, awesome idea. Poggers,
wow. Dude. So to go back to an even more of a poggers idea or topic, I think you have to look at your group regardless of what it is. Groups can be successful, right? Jimmy's talking about leadership and stuff like that. It's 100% true. Any game that you play that has guilds or groups or any sort of gathering of people, it's dependent on the motivation of the group itself and also on your own motivation of why you want to join that group. If you're joining because Dr. Lupo or Tim the Tapman's in that group, it's probably not the right thing for you. If you're just chasing, one person or
hashtag clout chasing.
Yeah, if you're chasing after an idea, right?
No, clout. Just say it. I just want to hear you say clout.
Hashtag clout farming. Can I say farming?
Oh, yeah.
Clout ginas.
But I think you really, I really think you have to dive into your own motivation of joining that team. If you're a small streamer that's struggling and you feel like you want to branch out, maybe there are groups out there. Like, for instance, World of Warcraft is a perfect example of this. There's hundreds of guilds, right? There's guilds that are literally meant to make you more gold. But what's the motivation of that guild? Most of the time, it's to put the gold in the guild bank, right? There's guilds that want to make people better as players, or that are just casuals that want to meet nice people. It's dependent entirely on the motivation of the group. And if you join a group and you're like, man, a lot of these guys are just clout farmers, and while reading the bio of the group, what it says is, hey, we can help you grow your stream fast. No one can help you grow your stream fast unless it's Dr. Lupo or Ninja or someone that has thousands of viewers. Maybe they could make that happen. But it's very, very unlikely. So just, look at your own motivations at the end of the day. Groups can be very helpful. Surrounding yourself with other people, super helpful. I mean, this podcast is a good example of that. I surround myself with a couple of guys that are extremely successful on Twitch, hoping that I can just steal all of that clout.
Those brand deals, baby.
Yeah, those fucking brand deals, baby. Let's go. Let's go. So, I think it's a little bit of an internal reflection, right? Like if you join a group and it's a shithole, we've all seen shitty groups that are just clout chasers, viewer farmers that just, let's host for host and only host our group, even though all the content's dog shit and no one's actually, no one cares about each other. We have nothing in common. Then it's probably not the right group for you.
Well, to just quickly jump on with quick counterpoint, I totally get what you say. I've seen a lot of that on Twitch. I've seen a lot of really bad content, and that's why I've been so wary about the whole stream team thing. But like I said, this I think good stream teams are out there, but they are the exception to the rule.
Yes,
I think that good stream teams are there, but they are not as common as not good stream teams. So my advice would be just do your research. Do your research and make sure you understand what you're getting into before you decide to join a stream team. Because if
sell your soul like Jimmy did.
Before you what?
Sell your soul like Jimmy did.
Yeah, before you sell your soul. And if you're gonna sell your soul, you better make sure you're getting a good price in return.
Here's a great way to decipher whether or not joining a stream team that is boasting themselves as a community. Jimmy, you have a Discord as a streamer. I have a Discord. Whose Discord do you pay more attention to, and are you more active in?
Mine.
Okay, so what a great tell would be is if somebody's running a stream team, if they're not a streamer and their sole purpose is the management of the community, you will probably have a fantastic experience. If you have a seasoned or a veteran streamer who is the one that is going to be running the community, how much time and effort do you think that they are going to put into building that community? Not a lot. Not a lot, because they don't have the time. If I know anything, it's that I don't have any goddamn free time. So you can bet that somebody who's doing content creation full time doesn't have any spare time. So that's just kind of like one of those things to look out for. And again, like Jimmy said, that's going to be the exception to the rule. You're not going to find a lot of stream teams that have somebody who isn't a streamer that is managing that team. And better yet, the chances of you finding a stream team that is actually taking the community aspect and building off of that, like are they scheduling events? Are they scheduling days for streamers to collaborate with each other, doing multi-streams? Are they scheduling charity events? There's so many things that can be done on a community level that can make a stream team fucking great. It doesn't exist a lot. It's out there, and there are people. Like, I think about what if the gaming community that I was a part of, if we had a group of people that were that passionate about gaming, that passionate about running a streaming community, it could have been fucking amazing. And there's parts of me that are like, man, I would have really liked to take a step back and to manage that. But I chose the route of being a streamer, and that's kind of
selfish bitch.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do my own thing. And because that was such an amazing experience and such an amazing group of people. But unfortunately, with the evolution of gaming communities and Discord and streaming, everybody kind of went off and did their own thing. And just to highlight, streaming is not a team effort. Your success is 110% depicted on the amount of work that you put in. And the more work that you put into trying to maintain the reputation of a community, the less love you're going to be giving. So at the end of the day, do what Jimmy did. Find people that you just vibe with and you just hang out with them. And that should just be the expectation. And I almost guarantee that you will have an awesome time. Any more than that, in my opinion, you're going to have a bad time.
What's the point of an organization that doesn't organize, right? Like if they're not
it's a title.
Actually, yeah. I mean, what's the point of being a part of something like that? Like, imagine being on a soccer team that there's one guy that shows up to the field every night and you're all there to support him, right? And he doesn't actually set up practices or scrimmages against other teams. You're just on the team, right? What's the point at that point?
Right.
Yeah.
And even though what I'm going to say is going to contradict what I'm saying. The reason I am taking one day off of streaming every week is so that I can dedicate time to creating a space to where the community can game off stream. Because that time, like, that's a community to me, is having a place where we are collectively playing together and the limelight isn't on me and it's all about me and my channel. It's just about like sitting and playing games together. Because that part of my life is something that I definitely yearn for, and that's just kind of something that I'm trying to bake in.
How do you sign up for that right now, Naaackers? Like, what channel do we need to be in for that?
Well, if you join the Naaackers Discord, you just have to go to the Choose Your Roles channel, and you just click on the calendar reaction. It gives yourself the events role, and then you get access to the channels, and you get pinged when we do events.
And you got to send a blood sample to his P.O. box.
What I can say, and I don't know if this is enough information for people to go finding, I was on the stream team with Cloaksy, a.k.a. FaZe Cloak. Before he was on FaZe, I was on the same stream team as him when he had like 50 to 70 viewers. So that should tell you how long ago it was. And that should tell you, if you know how to Google, you might be able to find it.
Wow. Doxed, man.
Wow, look at this guy, has all kinds of hashtag clout now.
Look
at this.
You don't need any more proof that clout chasing
I'm
fails.
not trying to brag or anything, guys. I'm not trying to brag or anything. But
I
happen to be on a team with
at least two Twitch partners.
I do that a lot. I used to be on a Fortnite team with Crispy before he went to CLG, so I'm kind of a huge deal, you know.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, no one.
I don't either.
And no one knows any Fortnite pros.
Way to go, big deal. Don't even know who the hell that is.
God, your cloud chasing abilities are Pepega, dude. You gotta level that up to Pog, dude.
Listen, man, I am an international meme. Okay,
Good job.
I don't
Good
take
job.
the comments.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
So This is the perfect type of conversation that I like to have about these topics, because there's so many different ways that you can analyze a conversation between three privileged white males. And there's so many different ways that it can go after the fact. So I hope if any of you are thinking about stream teams in the future, you take a lot of these things into consideration, because if you have the correct mindset and the correct expectations, you can have a great time. Just in the way that Jimmy and I found each other and Bishop and I found each other naked
on Craigslist.
You can find your people, because that's what it's about. It's about finding a people, but just keep your eyes out, because not everybody is as true.
Where's my people at? Hello?
We both responded to the same missed encounters ad.
Yeah. Looking for a mustache to ride, must have good hair.
Oh, shit.
Are you bald, Naaackers?
Right now?
Yeah, take your hat off. You said must have good hair.
I thought you were asking about my pubes, and the question or the answer to that is yes. I'm semi-bald, so there's probably like 3 days worth of growth. You know what's crazy is that like my facial hair started to grow as fast as my head hair. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is kind of disappointing, but you know, what are you gonna do?
You don't have enough curl on that mustache. Hey, I'm gonna go. We're an hour in, so this is a perfect time for me to go get some more whiskey. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Use the bathroom too. You guys can. I was really disappointed. I was very disappointed that the last podcast I got up to go get my drink, about same thing like I always do, about halfway through. And I said to you guys, "Hey guys, you can talk shit about me while I'm gone." Then Naaackers was like, "Okay, we will," and then you never did. And I listened later while I was listening back, and I was really disappointed that you guys didn't talk shit.
That should just go to show how much that we love you, Jimbo.
Yeah, we like you.
I think you just got sidetracked and forgot.
That's probably that's probable too. But you know, maybe we'll talk shit about Junior while you're gone.
Oh yes, please do. I'll be right back.
Typical Jimmy, just leaving to piss and get more beer.
Oh my god, can you believe that? Our
Dude,
friend chooses alcohol over us.
Well, man, this is really important that he's leaving us.
Did you ever have a friend that prevented you from playing games because they were smoking cigarettes?
No, but in what context? Like, how would that stop me? In the same room?
No. So like if you're queuing for something, so like say you're playing like CS:GO or Fortnite or something like that, and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go for a quick smoke," and then you have like a 40 fucking minute break because they have like 4 cigarettes, and then they go to the store and buy new cigarettes, and then come back and smoke them. You know what I mean?
Not that I can remember. I mean, people leave to rip bongs or bowls like all the time, and I'm like, all right, I'm chilling.
That's fast. I feel like that's faster. I feel like the cigarette break is like in our culture, it's like clearly it's going to be 5-10 minutes.
Turns out there's somebody in chat who might have maybe done that in the past. But never. It was never like bad enough to where it's stuck in my memory. And I feel like a lot of people probably just smoke in their house. Like I know, like in Michigan, people just fucking smoke in their house, man. They don't smoke outside.
No,
I mean, a lot of people do.
You go
right?
There, you know,
goddamn freezing. But no, not that I can remember. Because I mean, anytime that I think of somebody saying, "Hey, let me take a quick breather. I need to go grab a smoke," I think about all of the dumb things that I've had to go take a break for that maybe just didn't involve nicotine, but were equally as dumb. Diarrhea is a good one. Yep.
Right.
Except
Taco Bell, Chipotle shits.
What was the last takeout that you had?
We got this Greek place, and it was actually, we had like these lamb gyro. Yeah.
So it's gyros.
Yep.
I guess there's chicken gyro, but it's either gyro or chicken gyro. You know,
is gyro lamb by default?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. I didn't know that.
It's like saying, "Yeah, I had a beef burger today."
I had a burger. Hey, well, nowadays you might actually have to designate that, because I feel like there's enough different versions of burgers that they're like, you know.
Can we all just agree that the name Impossible for the vegan burger is just absolutely stupid and makes no sense? Because it obviously was possible. You made it.
It was clearly you did it, guys. Okay?
Unless you were lying.
Break it to you. But maybe it's impossible that you actually should like it, right?
Or it's impossible to tell the difference.
I mean, you can clearly tell the difference, but maybe there's a South Park few episodes around this where Randy Marsh he pivots to start making burgers, like these these Impossible Burgers, and they all taste like shit. But because they are all vegan or whatever the term is, everyone loved them. They're like, wow, that's amazing. So yeah, we can't cover this. South Park already beat us to it. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to move on from that.
Yeah, let's move on.
Jimmy had something. He had a title or a little a snippet called "Sponsored Content," and I'm trying to think about what he might have been talking about.
Do you think it's the Stream Team thing? Maybe that whole
It could
segment
be.
was just sponsored. Maybe this whole time he's been working for a beer company.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Actually,
maybe this is sponsored content.
You probably know this. I just learned this very, very recently, and I learned it because of an Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis Twitter video. So they came up with a wine that was meant to raise money for charity. So they just invented a wine and then sold it, and 100% of the proceeds were going to corona testing. And then at the end of the Twitter video, they cheers, and then he goes to take a sip, and she goes, no, you can't drink. I'm like, what the fuck? It's an ad for alcohol. Apparently, you cannot advertise somebody drinking the alcohol that you are selling in the advertisement.
Yeah, it's one of those little quirky things. That like in advertising, they, obviously over the years we've prevented a lot of negative imagery, like drinking, smoking, that kind of stuff. So then, kids, because you can't limit who's seeing an ad, based on like the time that it's aired. The another good example of that that's really odd, but something that is just super. It's one of those like super interesting things that like once you kind of dive into it, you're like, whoa, it's super bizarre. But Formula One back in the day, a lot of this is probably late 90s, maybe early 90s, late 80s. All of the ads on the cars were all cigarettes. So you had like Benson and Hedges, you had Marlboro, you had a bunch of other brands, but primarily Marlboro. Hopefully, I'm saying that right.
Marlboro.
The Marlboro.
Marbles.
Marble
smokes.
Marble smokes into sticks. But they were sponsoring the Ferrari Formula One team, and then there was a rule set that came in. I don't know exactly what it was, if it was TV related or if it was just like an overall ad related thing just in Europe. But all of a sudden, cigarette companies were no longer able to advertise on sporting events. So Marlboro had a deal with Ferrari, and just so instead of like pulling their deal because they could no longer put their logo on the car, they actually did like this barcode kind of texture on the car that while the car was going past, it would look like the Marlboro arch. Yeah,
wow.
It's super cool. It's something that I never really understood, but yeah, if you look at any of the old F1 cars, like early thousands, they have like this barcode on it. It's so, and while the car is passing the cameras, because they have interlacing, it would make the Marlboro logo while it was passing the camera. But on the car, it was a barcode.
And is that because of the frame rate that it was being shot, and because the barcode would kind of blur together, like it was kind of like a optical illusion?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yep. Yeah, so it was a full optical illusion, and they made it, dude, it's probably the most brilliant advertising of all time, because if you look at it, it looks like the package of cigarettes, but they were able to continue to leave it on the car as the brand. It just they turned it into a barcode, and yeah, I mean it obviously it's not exact, but because it's in the placement that everyone was getting used to having that brand on that car. It was there for decades.
Right.
So they swapped to that. And then eventually there was a rule set that was like, okay, guys, you can't do this. Like, this isn't allowed. So if you look at, I'm trying to find the exact year, but that's just one of those like advertisement kind of quirky things with rule sets that just doesn't make sense. Like, why can't you drink an alcohol? Obviously you don't want people just like popping bottles, but then you can watch a rap music video and people drinking alcohol and smoking weed in them. Right. It's like, which are aired on MTV. So
when do you think we will have commercials for marijuana?
We already have them, man. What do you mean? I live in Oregon.
Do you really? I've never, I mean, I don't have TV, but I've never heard of any marijuana commercials.
I'm trying to see what the company is outside, but because we live by nearby the basketball stadium, and there's a company nearby that it's like a dispensary, and they drive a bus around, but they advertise on, I don't know if it's on TV or not, but
Okay.
It's probably I'm sure some people in chat from Colorado and Vegas and a few other places. It's already happening to a certain extent. But yeah, it's weird. The advertisement world is very strange. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That Marlboro Formula One thing is really cool.
That's
just because they
super
found a way-
interesting.
Yeah, they found a way to just cheat the system, and I always wondered why they did it. I thought it was like a branding thing, but no, it was something they could keep the logo on the car.
Okay. So I think I meant traditional old white male advertising on televisions, like in between Friends and Seinfeld. Like, you can get this type of strain of marijuana from this store down the road, or like Target.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen, because I haven't watched traditional TV in probably like 5 years now, which is super weird to think. I haven't had a TV sub like Cox Communications or anything like that. Or
Cox.
It's been close to a decade for me since I've had a cable subscription.
Yeah, so I actually don't know. So does anyone that is watching this Twitch stream right now on your computer, do you guys watch TV?
While you're smoking that doink?
While you're smoking that, you good shit, brother?
So as a segue, Jimbo, you had a little spot there wanting to talk about sponsored content, and that might actually be a great segue into one of the final points that I wanted to get into.
Okay.
Streamer advice content.
Perfect. Well, it was this was brought up.
It was actually brought up by my stream team.
Actually,
I don't know if you guys know, I'm on a stream team now. It's called the Nook. It's a cozy place for other streamers to go visit, and people. It's just a nice cozy environment, man. It's called the Nook.
Would you follow me if I followed you?
Welcome to my Nook. Will you? Come.
No, all joking aside, it was a really great question. That's another reason why I like this team, is they bring up interesting topics on Twitter. And let me pull this up. So it was a question they asked to people on Twitter, and it said, where is it? Because I responded to this. Here it is. Money, the elephant in the room when a channel starts to grow. So let's talk about it. Sponsored content can be a huge windfall for a channel. What is your opinion on sponsored content on your stream? What about as a viewer on another stream? And so I responded, I gave, because you only have so many characters on Twitter. So my response to this tweet was, I think sponsored content works as long as it fits the streamer and community. I think if you were a full-time streamer, it would probably be something you should consider doing. For someone like myself that's a part-time streamer, sponsored content I don't even think it's not really a necessity for me. But it is, I wanted to bring it up because it's been something I've been mulling over, because, and I don't want to say too much because this hasn't happened yet, but before this whole COVID-19 thing, I was actually in discussion with the PR person for a Texas beer company about possible sponsorship of my Twitch stream. And because they're going to be able to sell in places outside of Texas, obviously, and that's one of the reasons why. So that's the only reason I even talked to them. So, but when COVID-19 happened, it kind of everything's changed.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of put the brakes on it. So I'm not going to say the company and whatever, but it's something that I hadn't really considered for myself, except for the fact that now, given what my stream persona is, and the fact that my channel emotes are beers, and I am a beer avatar. If it's a beer I enjoy drinking and I want to be sponsored and get free beer to say this is good beer, I don't see a problem with it.
Influencer!
Influencer Jimbo.
It would have to be a product that I enjoy, and like I said, it's a beer that I drink. So the point I'm trying to make is, I'm curious to hear what your point of view is on the topic.
You sound a lot like a guy that's getting paid to say this right now.
No, I'm not. I'm not making any money. Okay, I'm not making any money off ads at all.
Anti-pog.
Okay, but I'm curious because before all this thing went down, it was something I was even going to ask your guys' opinion about.
Yeah,
and then everything went down, and I was, like, oh. But now that the dust is starting to settle a little bit, I'll probably reach out again in an email this month, and see where that's at. But I'm curious what you guys feel about sponsored content and that sort of stuff. So
You know what I just
Exactly.
realized
Go ahead.
is that Junior is Jimmy's angry, alcoholic, abusive alter ego. And then Jimmy is Jimmy. And then Jules is the influencer, the Instagram influencer marketer. Hi, I'm Jules. Have you ever heard of Modelo Arski? This is brand new IPA.
you met Junior that one night in Michigan at the bubble tea place. You met Junior, if you remember.
Yeah.
You did. You met Junior that night.
I did, but I liked him. I liked him a lot.
Junior can be kind of funny.
Yeah, he can.
Junior, he can be funny in small doses.
Bishop, did you say you wanted me to go first?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I have a pretty straightforward thought of this, so I'd like you to go first. Just, I think it's easier if you go first. It gives me it's like a cheat sheet to go off of, and then I can just blast you for anything wrong that you say. So
Or you can pick a side without us even knowing. You just pick the safer side. You son of a bitch.
I'm playing their Jimmy route tonight, boys.
Well, I'm curious though. What do you feel about my opinion? I mean, do you think
we
that's
don't
a valid
really
opinion?
Care what he thinks,
I don't
right?
know if either of us were listening
No,
to him.
I thought
Is he
Jimmy.
muted?
I thought Bishop was talking that whole time. I didn't even realize that Jimmy was the one talking.
Yeah, I feel like Jimmy stole my standpoint. And he went first, and now I'm mad. So I'm trying to steal one from Naaackers now. So I'm gonna let Naaackers go.
Jimmy, you, in my opinion, you went about it the absolute perfect way. You found a product that you're gonna be drinking regardless. So why not find a product that is in tune with your vibe, with your channel, and what you are trying to project? If you went out and said, hey, I got this awesome sponsorship deal with this carpet company, and I'm all about this is the type of carpet you gotta have in your stream room. I mean, look at it. The thread count, the color, the thickness. Use code Junior for 10% off your next carpet. And then
Use code Jules.
And I know what you're all thinking. You're all thinking about, flooring. No, we're talking about fucking banana thongs with carpet on the front of it. Give yourself the good old bush in front, brother. But I'm all about it. There's such a negative vibe around talking about money and streaming, money and a hobby. And the fact of the matter is, we've all been doing this without making any money for a really, really, really long time. So if we can find a way
we're all millionaires. What the hell are you?
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about?
excuse me, sorry.
Man, what are you talking about?
I-
You see,
I drive
you see what
Dodge
I'm
Ram.
wearing? Do you see what I'm wearing? I mean, this is Twitch merchandise. I mean, how do you think I'm not making money? I mean, this is a Twitch branded shirt. I mean, this doesn't just go out to anybody.
My
man.
computer case
Twitch
doesn't
carpet.
even have sides on it. What do you mean? I'm a
Come on. I mean, come on now. All right.
You see these nano leaves? Are you fucking kidding me?
Golly, man. I mean, jeez.
So yeah, no, if you can find a product that is in line with your brand, with your stream, with the content that you create, and you're not swaying from that in order to peddle this particular brand or the particular content, I think that's when you know that you found something good. Like I have what I'll call affiliate ships with Space Cat Design, with 1UP Keyboards, and with Sub2R. All companies that I buy from with my own money that comes from Twitch. I buy their products. I use their shit. I love their shit. So of course I want to partner with somebody, because me as a person, I personally want to see that brand grow, because the brand is awesome. Their products are awesome. The person that runs that company is a good-hearted person who just wants to share his passion with the world. So absolutely, I would love to do some shit with them. So same thing with the stream teams. It all depends on your expectations going in, and your intentions as well. Sorry, that was the word I was looking for.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
All right, pick a side, Bishop.
Fuck, man. You guys kind of did it for me. So I've always talked about brands, and I've had just about the same opinion. The thing I will say is I think that most people that consider themselves streamers are just not really that multi-directional with their thinking. You know, when they think brand deals, the first thing that pops to my mind is like, oh, hey, I'm going to work with Raid Shadow Legends, and I'm going to play a game on stream that I probably don't want to play. I know that there's there's a few processes within Twitch to be able to manage that, where I think it's called a bounty, where they set it up and you can basically go and play a game. And it's just like it's a very like monodirectional way of thinking. You're like, okay, how can I make money streaming? Okay, what do I do while I stream? Oh, I play games. Okay, so I'll just find a game that will sponsor me and I'll go through that route. There's so many more things that you can do as an influencer, and to think in that way is so it's so belittling to yourself. And I know that that's how a lot of people think. They like a lot of the sponsor deals that you see on Twitch are just within this, this thought process where you don't really see many people transcending the world of streaming or outside of the world of gaming. You don't really see brand deals coming in from outside, and a lot of it is, it's part of it is laziness on a lot of streamers, but it's just the not understanding how brand deals work in general.
Well, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I want to. You brought up something that reminded me of something. But I'll give you a case in point. How many streamers do you come across where it's like, use my code JibbleJab10
Fortnite,
for 10% off Astro headset products?
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to shit on I'm just using them as an example. But I'm like, I mean, Astro headsets, I don't give a fuck about a 10% coupon.
Right.
I could find that anywhere on I could probably go to a bigger streamer and find a bigger coupon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
a
perfect example of exactly what you're talking about, Jimmy, is G Fuel.
Fucking
Do you think
G
that there's
Fuel.
anyone in the world, if someone, I would love to see if there's anyone in the world that has paid full price for a G Fuel container, right? Because every person,
if you have, you're getting fucking
Well,
ripped
10% off is full price, so everybody.
everybody
basically.
is
You're
paying full
paying
price.
beyond full price if you're not using one of those streamer things.
Never pay beyond fuel price. That should be the new slogan.
It's almost like if you guys know, like within motorsports and NASCAR and Formula One and just racing in general, they wear these fire suits that they just slap logos on. Right?
Everybody just makes left turns.
Yeah, and everyone just turns left and right, and NASCAR just left. But it's a perfect example of streamers is they see a guy in a racing suit that's successful. He's got a bunch of logos on his suit, and they walk up to him with a white suit, no logos on it yet. This is a streamer. And they reach out and they start pulling the logos off. They're like, oh, G Fuel, let me put that on. Oh, Elgato, let me put that on. Oh, Raid Shadow Legends, let me put that on.
Advanced
I saw
GG.
that you had that. GG, yeah. Let me get some. Let me get my creator code for Fortnite. And it's like
fucking hostess snack cakes. Let me get that on there.
Yeah. Let me. I mean, that would be a perfect example if someone was
fucking Cheez-Its. Let me get that on there.
Dude, those are great sponsors. Those are
this
great.
This stream
money
is
sponsors.
sponsored by Cheez-Its.
The white cheddar grooves, because those are the only respectable Cheez-Its.
Pouring a box of Cheez-Its down my throat right now.
Hot Pockets is about to call Naaackers up and fucking see the shit out of them.
Cheez-Its on our fucking show, bitch.
Can I be honest in that I'm still kind of scared that one day either Crocs or Hot Pockets are going to reach out and say you can't use our brand name in your. I'm terrified that is actually going to happen one day. I don't know the legality of what I did.
Yeah, you're fucked.
I don't know, dude, because like there's podcasts called like shit like Jedis and Jizz Bombs, I'm sure. So
yeah,
I mean,
but
like,
is Jedi a trademark term? Like Crocs
I don't
is a
know,
brand
dude.
name.
I would honestly, dude, I don't think it's anything you need to lose sleep over. I really don't.
I mean, here's a question.
Worst case scenario, you have to rebrand and change it. It's not going to change a whole lot.
If you were selling a product that was called a Hot Pocket, or like if you're selling a product, it would be a bigger deal. But
we're giving Hot Pockets of information.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
There we go.
Problem solved.
My god.
Delivered
Problem
via
solved, boys.
crocodiles.
Problem solved. We're giving Hot Pockets of informations. We're not guys that are full of a crock of shit. All right. There's some Crocs. We've got Hot Pockets of information.
Jimmy just saved this whole podcast.
I practice nautical law too. If you guys are interested, I also practice nautical law. Okay.
Can you imagine the deposition of us
Bird
fucking
law.
three?
I also practice bird law. Yeah.
Your Honor, first of all, I feel like you're an idiot. Okay, I don't want to tell you this, but I've been streaming for a while, so I know what I'm talking about when I've seen idiots.
Hold on, Your Honor. Can you hang on a second? I need to get my flask out.
Yeah. As soon as I can, I'm gonna use the bathroom. You guys talk about this.
You know what? You talk about it for a second. I'm gonna go ahead and take a 15-minute recess before you call your recess, Your Honor.
Yeah,
okay?
Your Honor, I'm gonna have a delegatory recess right now.
Recess,
If
yes.
you fuck with me on this, I will lose my shit. My sub, I'm canceling that shit right now.
Sir, can you confirm or deny that you were a host and or guest of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast? Pog, dude.
Yeah, hey, the Pogcast. And then you know what? Naaackers would be like, Your Honor, check out my fucking spreadsheet, bitch. I don't see your name on here.
No,
what
you do is they have the little microphone that's on your table in front of you, and you just like you pull it close to your face like this. You know, and he asks you that question. On or about May 3rd, 2020, were you on episode number 118 of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast? And you pause and you kind of look at the judge and you look at the bailiff and like the fucking the lawyers and everybody else in the courtroom, and you pull the little microphone that's on there like right next to your mouth and you reach down and you go, "Fuck yeah, motherfucker."
You'll auto-tune. I am the boner chain.
And then the fucking judge goes, bam, bam on the gavel. Case closed. Case dismissed.
This guy is filled with
And then everybody gets up and fucking just goes pog on the way out. They just look at you and just stare. They just say pog, and then you walk out.
Has the jury come to a conclusion? Get that ass sucked.
Get that ass sucked, please. Please.
So yeah, there's definitely a line that can be crossed morally, and I see it almost absolutely everywhere. Again, just another reminder that blue light glasses are a marketing scheme, and you do not need to wear them 8 to 10 hours a day while you're on the computer. Look it up. As motherfucking Eddie Bravo would say, look into it. Just look into it.
Next thing you're gonna tell me I don't need to think of essential oils, Naaackers.
Look, okay, there are some essential oils that are pretty dope. I must say,
I forgot. Your memory is skewed because of the orgy at your family friend's house that you had with the essential oils. So you have a totally different perception about this. We've covered that.
All kidding aside, there is one essential oil that has
orgy house.
The only thing that's been useful at orgies.
Orgies.
No, but canker sores.
His aunt had an orgy house. The kids were down in the basement playing Nintendo games while everyone else upstairs was getting lubed up in essential oils. And that he has a very innocent memory of this event, but nothing innocent was going on upstairs. I can tell you that right now.
Now you know why I was getting canker sore so much. Throat fucked, brother.
But I to finish your point, Naaackers. That's me starting my engine.
I say something because it was like machine gun fire to interrupt.
That's a two-stroke right there. To finish your point, Naaackers, I think it goes back. I mean, we just keep going over the same shit in the same podcast. It's like it depends on what you go into it wanting from the sponsor. If Jimmy is a perfect example. This is not a brand that is typically inside of streaming. I told him this on the first podcast. You could go back and watch the fucking VOD. I said, Jimmy, you should get a beer brand and you should get it now because you should find someone that you genuinely enjoy, someone that you can sit and you can drink. I'm talking about the beer, not the guy that's in the marketing or the lady that's in the marketing. You should find a brand that you genuinely want to support and ask them, reach out. And just go to a trade show, run the floor. Can't do that right now, obviously, but just reach out and maybe there's an opportunity for a brand deal. Also, Jimmy, one thing to pay attention to, specifically your point about coronavirus putting everything on hold. So one thing that's really interesting is that as far as advertisement content is concerned, the inventory for advertisers is pretty much zero. So they're desperate to find ways to market their product right now. So your platform is actually much more valuable right now than it has ever been, just based on that. We've been doing a lot of stuff in the.
I guess I'll be typing up an email this week.
I want $1 million, motherfucker.
But we've been doing a lot of stuff in the motorsports world, and it's bizarre. Like we went from having sponsors that were similar to gaming sponsors, and then all of a sudden we've got like Geico. It's like, whoa, okay.
And I'm gonna tell you guys right now, like I'm not going small I'm just letting you know right now. Like, I'm not going huge. I'm something, but I am going to be going to. I'm asking a place that already is selling their beer outside of the state. So that's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
Let's go to.
So we're gonna have a talk about this.
Texas
We will have a discussion.
Brewery.
We will have a discussion. It's a work in progress, but I honestly think I could probably get some free beer out of this. And that's really what the bottom line is.
I mean, if you're not getting money, you better fucking get some goddamn free beer.
Like if I can get sponsored by a beer that I already drink, to give me beer to drink and to say, hey, I drink this beer, it's win fucking win.
100%.
Now I don't have to pay for the beer anymore.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's the same deal with like streaming video games and being able to get tips and donations to pay for the video games. It's like I'm already doing the thing.
Yeah.
Is it a beer that I've drank? A company that I've drank? I
think so. Yeah. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I have a small contact at the company, like someone I know who works there, and
lover.
Yeah, not a lover. Not a lover.
Wow.
Look at
that right at the end of
Look at the last thing that 42 put in chat. I mean, if we're talking about like puns, a work in progress.
Oh, I wish I could play my little symbols right now.
Big
I totally would.
poggers, dude.
Big fucking poggers, dude.
Dude, I gotta figure out what the fuck is making the audio cut in and out. I don't know if it's does it do it for you in Discord?
It's automatic. It's Discord's noise gate.
It's the automatic gain control that.
If I scream in my
Discord
mic right
has.
now, it'll cut me off.
Drives me fucking insane. Like I so badly just want to go back to using TeamSpeak, but I know like the average Zoomer won't know how to do.
It's fine, dude. It's not a huge deal. It only really does it when I'm doing the auto tune because it has not normal vocal dynamics and range where it catches it. So that's why
You're just so spectacular that Discord can't even recognize what you is.
It can't capture me, man. It can't hold me back.
No, you're hitting a whole nother level of voice. It's so goddamn beautiful that
Pog's too big, dude. But
we're not ready. We're not ready for that sound.
I'm not ready.
No.
All right, final topic, and we're gonna squeeze this in the next 10 minutes because we only have a couple questions, so the Q&A will be quick.
Okay.
All
right.
We were talking about this on stream Saturday morning, and we were conversing about the place and the value of streamer advice content, and we were talking about the different types of streamer advice content. You know, and I was talking about how there are technical streamer advice content creators. There are sell you on your hopes and dreams types of content creators, and then
those are my favorite kind.
Yeah,
I love those. Those are the greatest.
Fun.
Right?
Those are fun.
You should just stream what you want, when you want, and the viewers will come to you.
Yo, nobody needs to tell you how to stream, okay? Except me, and resub to me so I can continue to tell you how to stream.
I watched Gary Vaynerchuk and I didn't listen to anything he said, but I'm taking exactly verbatim what he said. And I want you to follow this, and I want you to become the best person you could be, and you'll be the top streamer ever.
You better not be talking shit about Gary Vaynerchuk.
Dude, there's a lot of, I love Gary, but there's a lot of people that listen to Gary that literally don't listen to anything that he's saying, like about authenticity. And they're like, hey, holy fuck, he's so right. Let me go take this and then reiterate it literally to the verbatim to my community. And then
Right. I feel like there's a large group of people
the joke, right? Authenticity, and then they're not being authentic.
They're not authentic at all. Yes.
Okay.
The cat was screaming. I thought it was my girlfriend screaming.
Hold on. We need to address the elephant in the room, in which that you thought that your cat screaming was the same sound as Weenie screaming, which I feel like it needs to be addressed.
You know the sounds that come out of Weenie's body, like all
you know
orifices.
what? We can continue. We can move on.
Okay.
It's an essential oils.
We can move on. All right. I got it now. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What were we? Oh, squeaky chairness. This podcast went off the rails.
So types of content. I've learned everything that I know about After Effects and Premiere Pro and editing and producing motion graphics from tutorials. Tutorials are the best piece of content. You can learn anything you want to learn, especially from a technical level. You can follow people. You know, if you have something you want to achieve, Google, how do I do that, right? You look it up on YouTube. How do I do X? Whatever X is, whatever you're attempting to achieve. Follow tutorials. People that are promising you the world, we already know. They're fucking idiots, okay? They have never done it themselves, and a lot of them are building their own channels on the idea that if they present you the opportunity to build their content, in turn, they become popular, and that's
Hold on a second.
Their case.
You said people of the world are fucking idiots?
Yes,
Worldly.
everyone is a moron. So
Wait a
I want
minute.
to make that clear. Everyone's an idiot.
I'm a person of the world.
That's right. I didn't consider that. You may be an idiot.
Fuck, man.
What I mean, I don't know if I said that wrong. If I said that wrong, I apologize. But
Okay.
the people that are promising you the world are idiots. The people that pretend like they've built an empire and their case, right, their proof of concept is the fact that they're delivering content to you and they're becoming popular by telling you that how to do it yourself, and that's how they built their own community. Those people are the idiots. If they haven't ever built it themselves, they're probably not the best person to teach you how to do it.
Okay. I want to ask a question regarding on your amount of consumption of said content, but I kind of want to like set a little bit more context first. So we were talking about how there are the people who create the educational content that is like strictly tech related when it comes to streaming, which is my personal favorite. You have the people on the other side that are like, hey, this is what you need to do to be a good streamer. And then there are people in the middle that kind of do both. And one of the main points that I was talking about on my stream was how even someone like me who has been streaming for a really long time and has a semi-good understanding of how everything works, there are times when I get into rabbit holes consuming content that is aimed at helping me improve my ability to be an entertainer or my ability to be a content creator. I didn't come from a world of advertising and marketing and building yourself as a brand. So there is a shit ton of stuff that I am learning as I'm going. And there are a lot of things, just content releasing strategy. Speaking of Gary Vaynerchuk, there is an online like presentation where he goes through word by word how he takes a 3-hour keynote that he talks about, which is one long form content, and breaks it down into 30 pieces of micro content for other platforms. You know, little highlights and clips for Instagram, valuable highlights for Twitter, funny things that go on Instagram stories. And that stuff is very valuable. And if you want to be a content creator, you need to be able to master all of these different platforms and learn, when and what's the best thing to post and all that stuff.
I want to cut you off for just a second, only to say that your mention of micro content and breaking up content, that is my biggest weakness as a content creator. Like I never really do that I probably do that once or twice a month.
And do you want to know why? It's time consuming as fuck.
Oh,
it
absolutely.
Is so
no, I know
time consuming.
why. I know why I don't do it. I know why. That is my weakest area. And I know that if I were to take the time to do that, it could really help push me forward as far as if I'm looking at like viewership and numbers go. But it just comes down to the fact that I haven't found a way to be efficient at doing that. And so I don't do it.
Yep.
Because like you mentioned, it is so time consuming as a content creator to go out and look at your content, big 4-hour, 5-hour stream, right?
Yep.
Now I'm going to take this, even if you have people to help you out that like you have on the podcast, you have editors who are going and they're tagging stuff and you go back and they clip it up. But like on your stream, most people don't have like an editor. You got to go back and do it on your own time. Like, okay, this clip was made here. I'm going to go back and look at this one. Oh, this sucks. That's if you want to expand and show people your stream, you have to go beyond the people that were just at your stream.
Yep.
Like on Twitch.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And I'm terrible at doing that. Like I almost never do that. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's just it's something I've got to make maybe at least if I could just get better and just do it once a week. You know what I mean? Just one time a week I'll do it. I gotta do something.
I think the biggest mistake, there's two major issues that happen when people try to go down the route, or the two biggest errors that a streamer can make. The first one is only using Twitch, using Twitch to deliver content. And that's the only way that they're communicating, right? That's one of the big ones. The second biggest issue is when someone they hear something like this where they're like, oh, okay, wait, I need to diversify my content across all these different platforms, and they try to do them all, or they try to do a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
The best thing you can do as a content creator is find something that you genuinely enjoy doing as like a clipping. You can clip things, you can throw them up on Instagram, and you find a way that you can add additional value to maybe a different audience. So like, for instance, if you took little snippets of me calling people idiots and then you put that together and you made a show reel and put it on YouTube and be like, wow, look at this guy's so mad at everyone. Like that would be a piece of content that you could basically attract other people from a different platform like YouTube.
But like you just mentioned, that is time consuming. And in order to get that good content, you have to have spent already the time to have sat through that content to know that it's even there to clip and grab. And it's a never ending cycle, man.
The truth is that you shouldn't, I mean, it sucks. And this is like bad advice. So take it at that value, but like you shouldn't spend your time doing stuff that you're not, that are going to like, not that you're not good at, but that are clearly wasting your time. If there's something that, like, for instance, right, what I mean by that is that if clipping a bunch of content from your stream and putting it on Instagram is way too time consuming and difficult for you, and it takes you 6 hours where you could get the exact same amount of value by just tweeting and asking people questions about streaming, maybe that's your proficiency. You don't have to do.
I see what you're saying.
It's not IO, right? It's not.
It's not always just video. Yeah.
So
Also,
you might be able to engage a community on a different platform, and then have that be your other platform that you're leaning on.
The third option is to pay somebody else to do it.
100%.
But I don't. I mean, even though I make decent living, I don't make that kind of money. So
here's the thing, and this is what I've found, is that what you think is a little amount of money is actually a lot of money for somebody who is willing to help you out for free. Like there are people out there who would absolutely just jump at the opportunity to help you as a streamer, whether it's just like giving you a couple clips of stream, giving you some timestamps. And then if you say, hey, if you want to do this consistently, I can throw you like a Steam gift card a month or something like that. That actually will go like a really, really long way.
Yeah.
That's something to consider. That would be something that I'm lacking the time and really ability, because I know how to use very little in the way of photo and video editing software. All my stream assets that I've used for myself, I've had to get created, and I've paid artists to make for me, which has cost me a lot of money over the years, but it's worth it. I mean, I'm not saying that I disvalue that. I'm just saying that I wish that I had some of those skills, because I can't make assets for myself. Elliot's made me assets for my stream. And I paid him under what he's worth. I know that. Like, I know for a fact I paid him less than the actual value of what he's capable of doing. So, and among other artists that I've paid. And I guess the point I was trying to make is, if you, like you just said, I haven't really thought about paying anyone to do some of this stuff for me, but I think, like you mentioned, Naaackers, if I were to just put it out there, I'd probably be surprised the responses that I would get.
And there are one thing that I've done in the past was, and this might sound slimy, but to me, it helped me weed out people who actually wanted to help, aside from the people who just want to be known for helping out a streamer.
Right.
I've thrown out like, hey, I am looking for a person to do this particular job. Like when I originally started looking for an editor for Crocs way in the beginning, I was like, is there anybody out there who already consumes the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast and would be willing to assist me with creating highlights? And then we got a couple people that volunteered, and then I decided on Vans, because Vans is the fucking homie. And then I was like, all right, Vans, now that I know that you were willing to help this is what I can offer you every month. Like, this is how much I'm making in revenue. I'm willing to give
so
you.
you send him every other Thursday a fresh dick pic with your Crocs in the background. And I think that's fair. I really do think that's fair. He shared with me your November, December, January, February collection. I still haven't seen March or April yet, so I'm hoping that those are nice.
Now you know the value of the newly affiliated Twitch carpet. It is the dick enlarging carpet that belongs in your stream room. So if you do a top side down, by the way, I've never seen a penis from down up. Like, I've never been underneath a hard dick looking up.
Baby.
Not yet.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because BishopGP, aka Elliot, happens to have his own OnlyFans he just started recently, and that is his #1 most requested angle for his OnlyFans page. So
Insta vein. It's nothing but veins.
yes,
One massive fallopian tube.
fucking get it, Elliot. Get it.
Yeah, it's if I honestly, it's surprising how many and it's something I was just going to mention. Like Naaackers mentioned that there's so many people that that support you that are willing to give you money for nothing a lot of the time, right? They're already willing to pull out of their own pockets to help you out. When you come back to them and you offer them something, it's like a mind-blowing experience.
Yeah.
And I was able to do that recently, which was kind of cool. For a separate project, this guy was building kart racing tracks, and he was selling them for like, $10, $15, and he was designing them. He was selling them per person, similar to what I was doing before. I was like, man, why don't you just take this and go and sell it to like a series? So then you sell it for $1,000. And he was like, wait, is that possible? And we went through the process of doing that. And he's like, holy fuck, like, this is crazy. I was doing this for like $1 an hour. So I think a lot of the time you have to, it sucks because if we were making more and more money, like if we were making millions of dollars, which we are, obviously, let's just
obviously,
yeah,
multi-million dollar deals.
It would be like, if I was that streamer, I would just hire a bunch of people to do the shit for me, right?
Yep.
That's what the most successful streamer, right? Like, let's call him Ninja. He blew up, and that's because he had other people doing all of his social media for him, right?
Yes.
He had a bunch of people supporting him to be able to make that happen. And that's how he streamed for 16 hours a day, right? So yeah, it's if I ended up in that standpoint, I would be like, hey, listen, if I can give you 10% of the income to help me manage all the social stuff, or 20% or whatever the number is, whatever, depending on that workload, what it looks like. It's extremely valuable, because at the end of the day, like we talked about this on the first handful of podcasts, a lot of streamers transition to other platforms, not for the money, but for the time that they get back.
Yep.
For not having to spend their time streaming. And it's the same thing with all of these other tasks, right? Like, you can't spend 12 hours straight or posting content on Instagram, because it cuts into the time that if Twitch is your primary thing, then it cuts into the time that you would ultimately be able to be streaming. So
yeah. This is why you hear Tim the Tap Man while he's live. Whips, clip and ship it. And he has somebody uploading clips while he is live that is driving traffic to his live stream. Yeah. Shit, I was just going to say one final thing. What was it about? Oh, the last thing that I wanted to touch on before we get into the Q&A is I am currently writing a script for a video that outlines how to do what you're talking about, Jimmy. Like, giving people the idea. One of my favorite things about content creation is when people document the process that leads up to the content. So you can learn how a piece of content goes from live stream to computer to folder to mobile, how it gets posted. And so I'm currently working on a video like, hey, this is how I take my macro content and break it down to my micro content. In that context, the way that I create clips for the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. So we have the 2 to 3 hour long show. I went out and I looked for volunteers and I said, hey, is there anybody who listens to the podcast already that would be willing to just suggest timestamps of things that you found were valuable or funny or whatnot? So I have a Google spreadsheet that all of my podcast helpers have. Shout out to the podcast helpers. And when they listen to the podcast, they just write start timestamp, end timestamp, and then the subject. So they'll say like 9 minutes start, 18-minute end. The subject was, you guys talked about the value of streamer content. And what I do is, when all of those people give their submissions, I look at all the timestamp and say, this would be a good idea for an audio highlight. this would be a good idea for a video highlight. And then Conbot grabs those timestamps. He's able to edit them and export the videos and send them to me, and then I can post those on social media. So that, I really want to expand on that idea in another video, but I wanted to give Jimmy, you an idea, in the chat an idea of like, okay, how can I incorporate other people into my workload without giving them a majority of my creative abilities, but still take the workload off? Because when we end this stream, I know of all of the amazing things that we talked about tonight and how much awesome conversation that we had. I don't know when we had it in the 2 hours. So just having somebody else who's already listening to the podcast being able to put time. And what I did is, before we started this this collaboration,
just doing that just saved you at least 20 minutes.
Yeah. More than that. I mean,
at least.
I have to re-listen to the same podcast over to be able to pull my own highlights.
You can skip through bits knowing around an area. You know what I mean? Like, if you were doing it yourself, you could probably do it in 20 to 30 minutes. You know what I mean? If you were to jump around.
I have anxiety of missing good things when I skip around, so I end up having to listen to the whole thing.
Why don't you just have a marker key set on a stream deck?
I do.
Yeah, I actually started doing that myself, where I have a little marker key. If something happens on a stream that I think is funny or big, I will mark it so I can go back if I need to highlight it.
So here's the problem with marking. One, if you highlight a podcast, because we have a start and an end, the length of the highlight is shorter than the length of the podcast. So the marks, I don't think the marks transition over to the highlight. I think the marks only last within the past broadcast, and past broadcasts disappear eventually. So, and then if you want to like make mark of time,
I just use it for short term. It's just for short term. If I mean, it's not like, for my purposes, those stream markers work.
Yes. But no, they are. They're very valuable.
I know they're not
agree.
perfect for everyone's situation. Yeah.
The final point, or just like the final tip is, before I started collaborating with these people who are helping out with the podcast, I said, these are the things that I'm looking for. I am looking for educational stream content that can be applied to either advice or tech advice. I'm also looking for comedic highlights, things that could be funny that I could post on social media. And if you give those people that are helping you out those parameters, it makes their job easier, it makes your job easier, and then you have some awesome little content babies that come out on the other side.
One really quick question, Naaackers.
Yep.
How do you, because I know that this has happened in the past with a lot of people, and if you've ever worked with friends or family members or stuff like that, how do you prevent things from getting awkward with someone that's been like a, like we all have viewers that come into chat and they're really active and they watch every stream or they catch most of your streams, and then they want to help additionally, and then you get them to help you, and then there's kind of that awkward. It's not necessarily an expectation from you, but they feel like they shouldn't be in the stream unless they've finished like their clipping for the day, if that makes sense.
Oh,
like, how do you?
That's an expectation way above anything that I've had. But I am very forefront with setting that before we even, especially if there's money involved. If there's money involved, I'm setting the expectation that you're agreeing to do this by this time, right. And I also say, hey, I'm taking this pretty seriously. Don't ever take anything personal. This is all strictly business content decisions. And then if you aren't holding up your end of the thing, then I'm not, don't be mad when I just say, okay, we're done. I'm going to find somebody else to do it. If there's no money involved and it's all volunteer, you don't have a whole lot to say. But what I will say is that the amount of people that have volunteered and then ghosted and then disappeared heavily outweighs the amount of people that have actually been reliable. Heavily. So that is the one thing that I will say is, in your journey to find people that will help you out with your content, you're going to sift through some fakes and some BS to find the people that are actually there to help you grow. And that's why sometimes money just makes it easier, because it's like, I'm paying you, you're giving a service.
Yep. Cool. Yeah.
It's like I paid you to come visit you the first time. I said, hey, I would like to be your friend. Here is a Abraham Lincoln. I'm going to mail to you in your home address. Abraham Lincoln. That's $5 American.
Why is there a hole in the center?
And I mailed that to Naaackers, and we've been friends ever since over an Abraham Lincoln.
Money talks, man.
Money
and
talks,
Abraham
yeah.
Lincoln looks really funny when it's just a toupee over a penis.
It really does. It really does. I have to say.
All right, we got 2 quick questions for the Q&A. First question comes from Paul. How good are buffalo melts, Bishop?
Buffalo melts. Anything with buffalo in it and anything with melt in it is fantastic alone, right? You take those 2 things, you got your buffalo, you got your melt, you put it together, and now you're just in a whole new world of gooey, delicious, spicy goodness. Okay. I feel like this I feel like this question is redundant. Therefore, we are going to skip it because it's just delicious. If you don't know that it's delicious, it's something we can't solve in this podcast.
No, you're delicious.
You're delicious, Jimmy.
No, you're delicious.
No, you're
You're
delicious.
listen.
No, you.
No,
No,
Bishop. You guys are doing a really good job, and you look delicious tonight. All right?
Can you
look
imagine
extra delicious.
a triangle mustache ride?
Oh, baby.
How did that even work?
Think of like the 3 dirt bikers in the cage, right? At the circus, just going around in circles. Next question. This one comes from Hellhound. Jimbo's Nook tattoo when?
Oh, baby. Never. I mean, I have 2 tattoos. I have a half sleeve on my left arm, and I have a half sleeve on my right arm. My wife has about 15 tattoos.
Ooh, I didn't even know that. Isn't that crazy? I've met her.
She doesn't look it. Yeah,
Damn.
Which
she's
means
got a
they
lot.
are hiding.
Mhm. Yeah, she got a lot. I will get another tattoo. I'll probably end up with 1 more tattoo in my life. I still have to get one of these half sleeves like finished. So I'm not all the way done with tattoos, but a Nook tattoo. No.
Would you be willing to get like a joint tattoo? Like if I said, Jimmy, I want to get a tattoo that's just me and you.
If we found something, knowing you and how you are about tattoos, Nick, I would say yes. I
Docs?
would totally. I know, Docs. I would totally if you wanted to get a tattoo with me. Obviously, it'll be a while before tattoos becomes an option again. But
right,
if you found something that I liked and you wanted to get one too, I 100% would. And I think my wife would be all aboard that shit too.
All right, good. Look, Bishop, Jimmy's giving me things physically in the dark that I have yet to receive from you. So once we get past that point, we can consider the idea of a tattoo.
Yeah, I didn't understand the nature of the relationship. So now that I have a little bit more context, I
want to get a Street Fighter arcade cabinet tattooed on your right butt cheek. Is what I want. That's what I want.
Here,
Yeah,
okay,
that'd be kind of sweet.
Counterpoint.
Pushed up against the coin thing, like leaning back. That'd be sick. A butt naked skinny guy.
That's what I was thinking. If we all got a third of an arcade cabinet on a butt cheek, so we all had to push our butt cheeks together for the tattoo to be whole, kind of like Captain Planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we could shit on each other's butts.
Yeah. It'd be butt shits. Yes. Yes.
All right. We got one more question here at the end here. We got time. When you first started streaming, what was your biggest challenge, and where were you able to find the right source to overcome it?
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go last on this one. I've gone first.
Naaackers, I'm gonna let you go first.
Fuck, man.
God, you've not gone first at all.
I think whoever goes first from now on should.
Hi, Ruby.
Oh my goodness.
She was sitting underneath
so
me.
So cute. She's so old, like our dog with the gray hairs. It's so cute.
The sweetest dog I've ever. Oh, and she just gave you kisses. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she was sitting underneath my chair, and that's why I kept looking down because I was trying not to run her over. But yeah, she has like a little place that she lays under there, and I stick my face.
She's so cute.
So I have to go first. Biggest challenge. You know what? I think one of the biggest challenges, and because I don't want to say something that's anecdotal to me, right? I want to say that one of the biggest challenges as a streamer, let's say that your true self is the center of a Tootsie Pop, and the layers around the Tootsie Pop, all of that hard candy, is like months and months of streaming, and every month you lick a little bit away of this outer shell that is a protection of your true self. I think one of the hardest things to overcome is actually getting to a point where you are acting as you on stream. As soon as you start streaming, there is just this plastic layer over your personality. It's not on purpose. You're not trying to be somebody that you're not.
I am. This is probably the perfect answer to this question, because I 100% know exactly what you mean. And I think I have just recently, like within the last
You okay there, Jimmy?
I'm good. There's all the booze. Within the last 2 years, I would say, where I've really kind of discovered who I am as a streamer, and then even more of almost recently, with the switching to no cam, for example. But like finding out the hardest thing, I guess, to answer that question is, I 100% agree with that, and I was already kind of thinking along those lines. Discovering who you are as a streamer, it takes time for what I would think most people that stream. Takes a lot of time.
Yep.
So,
yeah, I definitely think that's like the perfect answer. It's like figuring out exactly who you want to be, and if you want to choose to be like, at first you're gonna put up walls and defenses just because you're expecting to get fucked with, right? That's just the expectation. But eventually, as you continue to do it and you start building a community, for me, like Twitch streaming was the first thing that I was actually required to use my personality just to talk to people.
Wait, you have a personality?
I think so. At this point, maybe we'll see about that. But it's like, it was the first time that I actually, like, Instagram, Facebook, you don't actually have to be in front of people, right?
Right.
So it was interesting because it's like, it was not something that I was super used to, and I was always pretty awkward in social situations. But it's like that little bit of a barrier to break through, and I think it was more of a defensive thing, not wanting to get trolled or whatever, or get worried about that. But now that we've all been trolled quite a bit, I'm sure.
Yep.
I'm just like, oh, cool. And like, we've done enough trolling ourselves. We're seasoned veterans. We probably should see a therapist at some point.
We've had this conversation before, and the way that I always put it is, there are streamers and then there are people who stream. And there is a very distinct difference between the two, because you can tell when you go into a stream and you're like, oh, this person's they've been live for like less than a year. And there's certain mannerisms of, there's like this weird awkwardness. Like, if you ever go in and somebody gets a raid, you ever see them fake stretch?
Naaackers, there's a reason why nothing exists for my first few years on the channel. Okay?
Yeah, right.
There's a reason why you can't find almost barely anything from my first couple years of streaming, because it was so fucking bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like, I've seen some of your early content. It was bad too.
Yeah, so very bad. Yeah.
It's okay. It's gonna be bad. It usually, I've known very few streamers that came out in their first year of streaming and that were just awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a gift.
It just doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
Yep. So there's certain things that you can notice, and some people are going to feel personally attacked about this, because I know some people that still kind of do this. But like, when people get a raid, they'll do the fake stretch. They'll go, "Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome in," or they'll do like the, "Hey, thank you everybody for the raid. You are all awesome,
amazing.
Thank you.
Hello.
My name is this." Yeah. So and I see it. Again, it's not there's nothing you can do about it. You have to lick the lollipop until you get to the center of it.
You have to live through it to understand what and unless you've been exposed to Twitch culture and lived that for a long time, you don't know how to react.
No.
So it is a, I don't know where I was going with this. I think I was.
As a streamer, here, I got you. I'll pick up.
Okay, go. You go.
As a streamer, we all have to realize that we are going to start out and produce really shitty garbage for a while until it starts to get better. But I think it's funny because, like, a lot of us were like personally self-conscious about the first few years and stuff of our own streams. But there is an expectation that we're all going to produce some real dog shit, and it's just going to get better over time. Streaming isn't something that you're going to start out and you're going to be
Most
great
of it's
at.
going to suck, but it will get better over time.
It'll get better, and sometimes maybe and one thing to pay attention to is it's not going to be good all the time. You're not going to have 3 hours while you're streaming that's going to be all good. There's little snippets, and that's what people are there for. It's the reality of seeing you in your element. And then the highs and the lows. So don't expect your streams to be
mostly lows. Mostly lows.
It's going to be
especially a BishopGP stream.
Oh, they don't even exist. They're so low.
It's all lows.
Bit rate
It's
is
all,
zero.
all lows, basically. Yes.
And if we're gonna produce shitty content, we're doing it with a Go XLR and a Shure SM7B. Day one, baby.
Yeah, baby. Fucking sign me up. Give me the most expensive fucking equipment I can get.
All right, we're doing one more.
At least you don't have an excuse at that point, right? Like you're not like, well, maybe I think that happens with a lot of streamers. You start out, you get some you're doing a shitty job, and then you're like, well, maybe if I had a better mic. And then you get the better mic, you're like, holy fuck, okay, it wasn't the mic. Okay, camera.
No,
it's the camera.
it wasn't the mic. It wasn't the mic.
This stream, I would be fucking insane if I had a camera. And then you get a camera, you're like, fucking shit. Okay, I was
what about animated overlay?
Damn it. Okay, overlay. Okay, let me. There's overlay. Here's $500.
And then it's emotes. Then my emotes aren't good enough. I got to get some new emotes.
How are they supposed to react to my content if they don't?
If I don't have the right emotes, God.
It's the sub badges. It's the bots.
It's the bit badges. If I had better bit badges, I'd get more bits.
Starting soon screen. I need a countdown. I need a 10-minute countdown so people can wait for me.
Yeah, it's just everyone is going to produce dog shit. We all produce dog shit at the end of the day. The point of streaming is
early on.
Yeah, early on. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. But even when it starts to get better, you're still going to have a majority of your time sitting there. It's going to suck, but it's going to get marginally better over and over and over again. And streaming isn't something that you do. It's a journey. It's something that that progresses and evolves over time. So
100%. Could not have said it better myself. It is a awesome journey that I'm happy to be a part of. So
our new motto is going to be, it's going to taste like dog shit, but just keep licking. Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast.
Crocs and Hot Pockets 2020.
Please.
It's going to taste like dog shit. Please keep licking. Please.
Please keep licking.
Pretty please.
There might be chocolate in the middle, but it looks and tastes like dog.
But it may not be. It's going to taste like shit for a long time.
You don't know if the center is Tootsie Pop or if it's
It might be Tootsie. It might be more shit. That's a risk you're going to have to be willing to take.
The best way to put this is that this is someone swallowed a bunch of honey roasted peanuts whole and they shit them out right away. So you have a lot of shit. Streaming is this. It's exactly that. Guy eats the honey roasted peanuts. He takes a shit. You start eating the shit. It still tastes like shit, but there's some little pockets in there in that shit.
Wait, he ate the shit that he shat out?
No. We're eating his shit.
We're eating the streamer shit.
Wait,
so we're
shit
eating
that he shit.
So he ate honey roasted peanuts. He shit it out. They came out whole inside of this turd log. You're eating the turd log, but you're getting little spurts of deliciousness.
Oh.
So it's shit. But there's times
why would
that
I
are
be
great.
eating someone else's shit though? I can't. How are you gonna get little bursts of deliciousness? Okay, I see where you're going with it.
There's honey roasted peanuts embedded in someone else's
shit. There's
so
some
you're getting a
you're
little
eating
flavor.
shit and you're like, oh, it's so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good.
Oh,
that's
the
streaming.
rest of this is
That's
fucking
streaming.
terrible. Oh.
And plus,
Yeah, that's streaming. Yeah,
all
you're
you
right.
need
That is a very. How many hours did you stay up thinking about that? Because that might be the best description of streaming I've ever heard.
But here's the best part about that is you bring your own powdered sugar, all of a sudden you got puppy chow and like all is right in the world.
Yeah.
Yep. Holy fuck.
Girthy asked the last question, but it's a very loaded question. So I'm going to save it for the next Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast at the beginning because we're going to go way, way over time if we do.
Yo, dude, did you just fucking segue the outro?
I did.
That's never been done.
I know. We're trying to make moves,
Yo,
man.
We've been 118 episodes. We have never had a question that has been segued to the next episode. So Girthy, you better feel fucking important right now because that just doesn't happen.
You're welcome.
That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen ever. It's never happened.
Use 10% off with my code Naaackers at twitchcarpet.com.
10%.
Yeah, you're gonna want to play Fortnite with my code. If you don't play with my code, you're losing.
If you ever happen to be in a HEB and would like to get Yule Schlitz beer, you can use my code Jimbles Loves Booze 101 for 3% off. For 3% off that beer. 3% off a 6-pack for $6.99.
If you want 11% off that exact same beer, I have.
That's about an 18 cents coupon in case you didn't figure that out with the math.
Liquor Schlitz.
Liquor Schlitz.
If you were to come out with your own beer, what would the name be, Jimmy? You ever thought of this?
Oh, dude, you can't. No, I never thought of that. If I had, I would have an answer for that.
Okay. Well, now you know.
Mine would be called Hopscotch, and it'd have scotch in it.
That's not original. That's a 2 out of 10.
You're stupid.
God damn it,
Can we kick him off the podcast?
That's what we're ending this legendary episode.
Okay. All right. You're off. You're off.
Hey, Carpet, you're the newest addition to the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast.
You're out.
All right, we got to get out of here. Everybody, thank you so very much for listening to this episode of Crocs and Hot Pockets. We will be back in 2 weeks for another episode of a free-for-all, but I will be back next week with a 1v1 featuring Sodomi. And he's a homie that I've known for quite some time, and I'm pretty excited to have some conversation with him. So what we're going to do, go around the room, do our social media things. We're going to raid another channel at the end of this stream. So if you want to stick around for the raid, please do so. But Bishop, who are you? Where can we find you online?
My name is Elliot Bishop, a.k.a. BishopGP. You can find me at Bishop Was Here on Twitter or BishopGP on Twitch.
My name is Jimmy, a.k.a. Jimmy Jimbles, MiddleAgedStream on Twitch.tv, MiddleAgedStream on Twitter, the same on Instagram. I am streaming now on a 3-day schedule, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch. You can find me playing a lot of really cool games that Naaackers doesn't play because I play cooler games than Naaackers.
I'm a just chatting streamer now, so
if you wanna know what a cool game is, come to my stream.
If you want to see
Naaackers
getting
Drift.
over it, being beat for the 5th time, come to my stream. My name is Naaackers. You guys can find me on this very channel, or you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Naaackers with 3 A's. Thank you all so very much. For those of you that are listening in the future, we greatly appreciate your company and the support of the podcast. Thank you guys also very much. We will see you next week for a 1v1 and in 2 weeks for another free-for-all episode. Bishop, Jimmy, love you both. You both have a good night. Thank you.
I love you, motherfucker. I just want to lick your fucking face.
Keep eating those honey roasted shit logs, guys.
Honey
buddy.
roasted.
Yeah, buddy. All
Honey
right.
roasted.
I'll see you guys.
Yep,
Later, buddy.
Thank you very much for checking out this episode of the Crocs and Hot Pockets podcast. If you would like to catch the show live, it airs on Twitch on my channel at twitch.tv/Naaackers at 9 p.m. every single Sunday. If you would like to check out the most recent episode of the podcast, you can probably click this little box here. And if you feel like checking out some of our highlights, you can maybe click this little box down here. And maybe I'll even put a little thing for you to click right here. No? Bye.